Hello scientific people, welcome to TAV Moyle Public School. Now we will continue with the concept of force and laws of motion. So let's continue from where we left. So we were discussing about contact and non-contact forces. The contact force are where there's a direct contact between two bodies and or through the connectors. We say it is a contact force whereas non-contact forces are those where there's a no contact between two bodies either through connectors or directly. So those are non-contact forces. Now let us discuss what is this friction force. So a force acts at the surface of the contact when one body moves or tend to move upon another body. It's called the force of friction. Now as you can see, though it is not simplest way to understand or simplest way to define friction force, in simplest way you can understand, here there are two bodies. This is one body, this is another body. This is an object which is, for an instant, imagine situated at the surface over here. Now here as you can see, there's a contact between this body and this body. Here the contact point is due to, because of this contact point is nothing but a friction which is generated between motion and this object and this object. So as you push this object, you will find that it will not move smoothly. Why is it so? Because an opposite force is being there which is acting in the opposite direction to the direction of motion. If the direction of motion is there, so the friction force would be always opposite to the direction of motion. For an instant, if you are pushing an object in this direction, the friction force would be always in opposite direction to the motion. So a force acts at the surface of contact. As I told, friction force is a force which acts at the surface of contact. Here there is a contact between two bodies. It always acts at the surface of the contact. When one body moves or tend to move upon another body, it's called the friction force. If this body is moving in this direction or appearing to move in this direction, here a contact is there. If the motion is in this direction, the friction force would be always in opposite direction. Now, one way of even analyzing friction force is that if an object which is at rest, it is again because of friction between the object and the object where the object is situated. There is a contact between two bodies, so the object is at rest due to friction. Now, why friction is important? Friction is important because it helps us to walk. If there is no friction, if there is no contact between our surface and the shoes or the fingers of our legs, so hence the friction is there because of legs and friction between the ground. One can able to walk properly. If there are no friction, if there are no contact between them, one could not walk it properly. Now another way, it helps us to hold things. If there is no friction, just imagine if there are no friction, everything would be scattered here and there. Because of friction, everything is binded towards each other. Now stop a moving object. Even if a moving object is there, and now if I have to stop that moving object, I need to apply a certain opposite force. That opposite force is nothing but a friction force. Imagine that a ball is rolling on the surface of the earth, and if there's no contact between the ground and the ball will continue to move forever. So if there is a so that's why, in order to stop a certain object, there should be always a contact between the ground or the another body. So it helps us to stop a moving object. It helps us to start or stop a vehicle. So imagine that you are driving a vehicle and you need to stop your vehicle. If there's no contact between road and the tires of the vehicle, you could not stop. So it helps us to stop vehicles also. It helps in grinding also, for cooking purposes also. It is grinding, and even for digging and bringing out some materials from the earth crust. Is again, friction is very important. Even for construction purpose also, if everything is minded towards the surface of the earth, so it helps even in construction of works. It even helps us to write whatever we write, because of whatever we write, then only it is only mainly due to because of friction. Because there's a friction between hand and your finger, a contact is there. With the friction, you can hold your pencil or pen properly, and with that holding, you can write whatever you want. You can even makes matchstick ignition possible also. Yeah, as you can see, this is a matchstick, and if you strike that this particular point where lead oxide is there, and if you hit this two portion properly, you will find a certain ignition which could be only possible whenever there's a contact between this point and the contact over here. So friction, because of the friction generated over here, you will find an ignition would be only possible because of this. So this is certain friction or the necessary why friction is very important in our day-to-day life also. Now let us discuss what is balanced and unbalanced force. Balanced forces are those forces when two or more forces acting on an object are equal in all directions. We say it is a balanced force. As you can see, this is an example of tug of war. Here you will find three people over here and three people over here. Both are applying a force of 30 Newton in this direction. Here three person are applying a force of 300 Newton in this direction, whereas these three people are applying a force of 300 Newton in this direction. If you observe it properly, you will find that both forces are applied of same magnitude, that is, but directions are different. Here the direction of force is in this direction, but the magnitude of force, that is 300, it is constant. The 300 is constant, but direction of force is in this direction. Again, here the force applied by these three person, here the magnitude is again 300. In both the cases, magnitude of force is constant, but direction is different. Since magnitude is constant, there is a no movement, and as a result, we say it is a balanced force. Balanced force is created between balanced force is created in the game of tug of war in this case. Now imagine if this three person are collectively applying a force greater than the force created over here, that is, they are applying a force of 400 Newton, and here the force which is being applied by these three person is 300 Newton. You will find that all these three person will also move in this direction, because here the force is 400 Newton and here 300 Newton. Here 100 Newton force is greater. That's why you will find that object will tend to move in this direction. So this is an example of unbalanced force. So in balanced force, results has no movement. Here you will find that your final output would be nullified, because both the force are magnitude of the force are same but in opposite direction, so they will cancel out each other, and hence it is a balanced force. Whereas in balanced force, when two or more unequal forces are there, as you can see, these are unequal forces acting on the body, moves in a direction with more force. Here are more forces there, so the object will move in this direction. Net force is a difference between these two forces. So the net force applied, which is greater over here, that is 400 minus 300, you will find the net force is greater. So that therefore the object will tend to move in this direction. Now let us see what is spring force. Now spring force is simply a force which is applied by the spring. But as you can see, this is a spring. Your spring is there, and as you compress or stretch this spring, you will find the spring will move in different direction. So the compression and stretching of a string is a spring force. Now let us see what is the resultant force. Now as you can see, this is a picture. In this picture, certain amount of force, suppose 7 Newton force is applied in this direction and 3.5 Newton force is applied in this direction. So the net force would be, or the resultant force would be 7 Newton minus 3.5. The object will tend to move in this direction. Why is it so? Because 3 Newton force is being applied, and 7 Newton force is being applied in from this direction, and 3.5 Newton force is applied in this direction. So since this force is dominating, so the whole object will tend to move in this direction, because here the force was 3.5. So how to calculate resultant force? 7 minus 3.5, that is 3.5 Newton. So the 3.5 net force is the resultant force. Now as you can see, another way of analyzing resultant force is that, as you can see, this is a plane which is in air. You will find certain drag force which is in this direction. Plane is moving in this direction, which is nothing but a thrust, and lift is also there and a weight is also there. If you combine all the forces, that is weight, lift, drag and thrust, you will find that this thrust is dominating. As a result, the plane will tend to move in this direction. The weight, which is from the acceleration due to gravity, or the force which is exerted by the surface of the earth, this is a weight, and the drag, which is exerted from the tail of an aeroplane. The aeroplane is also lifting in upward direction. Lift is there with the help of engine. So the resultant force, with the combine all the things together, you will find that the resultant force will tend to move in this direction. Now, magnetic force are those force, as you can see, which is experienced with the help of magnetic material. This is a magnet, as you can see, north pole and south pole is there. In this magnetic field, opposite poles are there, so attraction is being felt. In the same way, same poles are there, north pole, both are north poles, repulsion will be felt over here. So the repulsion and attraction here, this where the repulsion and attraction could be experienced with the help of a magnet, that is a magnetic force. Or more precisely, you can even say the magnetic force is the mechanical force exerted by the magnetic field upon the magnetic pole placed on it. The mechanical force, as I told, the force where both potential energy and kinetic energy is also there. Mechanical force can be even said as a force where both magnetic and kinetic and potential energy are collectively there. So here kinetic energy motion could be felt, and the potential energy which is being stored in the magnet. So both, because of which a force could be experienced. So that pole here, because of this, a force could be experienced. That is nothing but a force created over here. In the same way, we even have that is electrical force. As I told, this is electrical force. As I told previously, that everything is made up of matter. Matter consists of small things like fundamental particles. So proton and electrons are also there. They are binded together with an electrostatic force. Now, whenever a charge or an electron which is moving from one place to another place in a conducting wire, electron drift from negative terminal to positive terminal. That drifting would be felt in terms of an electrical force. Electron move from negative towards the positive terminal. So the movement of electron from negative terminal to positive terminal, that is an electrical force. So the attraction or the repulsion integration between any two charge object and electrical force. Here we are talking about a static electric force. For an instant, static electric force we have discussed. Static electric force means, previously we have discussed, the charge which could not flow from one point to another point, that is a static force. Here the attraction or repulsion could be felt. Attraction means repulse. We have studied about static properties. Static properties are those same charge will repel each other, opposite charge will attract each other. So if the same charges are there, repulsion could be felt. Opposite charges are there, attraction could be felt. So these are the electrical force that could be felt even in static electrical force and even in current electricity also. I hope you have understood this concept. Thank you and have a nice day.